Hello everyone and good evening. My name is Jen Reeves and I am from GEG West Virginia, and I'm so excited to be with you for our final episode of the Thanks and Giving series, episode 3. Tonight we're going to be focusing on Appetizing Bytes to get you started, apps and extensions to help simplify your teacher life. Remember that once we conclude the presentation today, I'll be sharing with you a secret code word. You're going to want to enter that into the prize form that's located below in the information so that you can be entered to win one of our great prizes from GEG West Virginia. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started for the evening. First of all, don't forget to make sure that you fill out that prize form entry at the end and be listening for that code word. Then make sure you fill out the form and make sure it's submitted by this Thursday at 7 p.m. The winner will be announced and drawn and shared on Facebook and our Twitter page. So, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for connecting with us this evening. I realize that many of you who are watching this presentation are teachers and educators, and right now is a very challenging time. So I want to just first say thank you for taking a little bit of your time to spend it with me this evening so that I can share some of my learning with you. So if you would please make sure that you connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and you can visit our website for GEG West Virginia and check out all we have to share there. There's lots of things happening and lots more to come. So a little bit about me. My name is Jen Reeves. I am a technology integration specialist in Morgantown, West Virginia. I also am a Google for Education certified trainer. So I'm excited to share some of my learning with you this evening and some of my favorite apps and extensions to help get you started. Now, if you haven't connected with me yet on Twitter, I encourage you to do so. My Twitter handle's on the screen at JZWVU07. Please be sure and connect with me on Twitter. I would love to connect with you. So tonight in our episode, we'll be defining the difference between an app and an extension. We'll be exploring apps and extensions to simplify your teacher life and engage your students. And we're going to talk about how to take your new learning with you today. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is what is the difference between an app and an extension, because a lot of times we use them kind of interchangeably and they're actually two different things. So let's talk really fast about the difference between an app and an extension. The first thing is that an app is a software program. It's usually downloaded onto a device. Usually we think of as a tablet or a phone, and it's usually downloaded from the App Store. It can be used also, though, with the web-based application. So the great thing about apps is that we can use them on tablets and phones, but we can also use them interchangeably with the web-based application by going to the website URL, which is really wonderful because it gives us across iOS, it allows us in different OS systems to be able to access the same content in different ways. So apps can be super great. And an extension is a little bit different. And an extension is something that runs specifically in the Chrome web browser. Extensions have to be downloaded from the Chrome web store, and extensions run without leaving Google Chrome. In the side picture over here, you can see actually a screenshot of my screen, and it shows you that extensions actually run within your Chrome web browser. So when we're thinking about using extensions, we're thinking about using them on a laptop or some type of Chrome device, whether it be a Chromebook or whatever you're using, that you're using the Chrome web browser. The thing that I love about extensions is that they allow you to save time and increase your workflow. I'm one of those people that I like to kind of get to one place and not have to go a bunch of different places to get what I need. Extensions are kind of like that. They allow you to access programs and content without ever having to leave your Chrome web browser. So today we're going to be looking at apps and extensions both, and how they can work together to increase your workflow, engage your students, and save you some time as the teacher. So let's go ahead and get started. So apps and extensions for your teacher life. The first extension that I have for you, and we can tell that this is an extension because in the top right-hand corner of your screen, do you see the puzzle piece there? That tells you that this is an extension and it's only an extension. So extensions have to be downloaded, remember, from the Chrome Web Store. When they're installed, they run in the top right-hand corner of your Chrome web browser, that they're always accessible. So your first extension that I have for you today to save you some time and a little bit of headache is the Keep Awake Chrome extension. So if you go to the Chrome Web Store, or if in your Omnibox at the top, you just search for Keep Awake, it will bring up this extension to install. It looks like this little moon that has the picture here. And the great thing about the Keep Awake extension is it keeps your Chromebook from going to sleep. So if you are one of those school districts that utilizes Chromebooks, this is the extension for you. I don't know if you've ever been in the middle of a presentation or in the middle of teaching a lesson and you walk away from your computer for just a short period of time and your computer goes to sleep. It is really one of the most frustrating things that happens by using a Chromebook. I get it that it wants to save energy and wants to make our device run efficiently, which I really appreciate. But there are some times when I want my device to not go to sleep. If you install the Keep Awake extension, it allows you to turn on and turn off the energy saving functions on your Chromebook so that your Chromebook can stay awake if you want it to be doing that, especially if you're teaching or doing distance learning or giving a presentation. This app is critical. So try that one out, Keep Awake. The next one I have for you is actually for students. This extension is called Read and Write. This extension we actually have installed on every computer in my school. And the reason for that is because it's specifically designed for students. It allows users, when they click on the puzzle piece at the top and on their extension bar, this purple read and write puzzle piece, it allows them to have the text read aloud to them no matter what it is. So as long as it's a website or text that's able to be highlighted, the extension reads the content aloud to you. So why would that be helpful for students? Well, this allows content to be read to them when you are not there. So I love to use this, especially for our younger learners, because a lot of times when they're doing research, they are getting onto websites or looking at information where they actually can't read every single word. So the Read and Write Chrome extension allows the user to take their cursor and highlight text, any portion of text, and be able to click the play button and have that text read aloud to them. This is also great for distance learning because students can have their information, their Google Classroom directions read aloud to them, which is awesome. So if you're putting assignments in Classroom, even our youngest learners can utilize this extension to have instructions read aloud to them. So check out the Read and Write extension for your students for Google Chrome. So they would need to install this extension onto their device. So we actually, like I said, install this onto each of our student devices in my building. The next one is for you teachers, and this one is Emoji Keyboard. We love emojis, our kids love emojis, and the thing that I love about emojis is that we can support our youngest learners and all of our diverse learners by using emojis. So Emoji Keyboard is an extension that you can install from the Chrome Web Store that allows you to put emojis anywhere you want them. So as you can see from the screen here, I actually use this when I'm teaching in my Google Classroom. So I like to actually put an icon beside the things that I'm teaching. So here you can see that chapter 3 has a green heart for it. And that way, if I have students that maybe can't read that specific title there, they can know to go to the green heart. I like to use this for our younger learners by putting books for my reading section or a plus sign for where I want them to go to a math assignment. So I really love this because it allows you to copy and paste emojis wherever you want them. In your email, in a Google Doc, as feedback for a student, as your classroom headers there in your Google Classroom. I really love Emoji Keyboard. It's just a nice way to streamline and have a little bit of fun in your classroom. The next extension, which I'm actually using right now, is the extension Screencastify. I love Screencastify, and I have to tell you that in the age of where we are right now with distance learning, just being at the forefront of what we're doing, Screencastify is an outstanding way to be able to share content with your students. You can use it for screen recording to teach a lesson. You can upload Screencastify videos to Google Classroom for distance learning. Students can use the Screencastify extension to record themselves, like what I'm doing today, giving a presentation for the rest of the class. class since we can't maybe be with them, or they can create an ebook in Google Slides and then be able to actually narrate their book as they turn the pages. How powerful is that for students to be able to showcase their learning and be able to teach our friends? We know that when students are able to teach each other, it showcases their true learning and understanding of the content. Screencastify is a great way to record your screen like I'm doing right now and be able to share your learning with others. Highly suggest this one. Screencastify has been around for a really long time, but it's one of those tried and true extensions that is free for educators that I highly, highly suggest. So the next one, which I know a lot of you are probably super excited about, is not only an extension, but is also an app. So you'll notice here that the Bitmoji box here has a red and a blue. It's showing that it's an app and an extension. Both are available. And you can see it in my top right-hand corner there. I have the computer, the tablet, and the phone, as well as my puzzle piece there. I love the Bitmoji Chrome extension. I use it pretty much every day, because it allows you to give fun feedback and also put your Bitmoji anywhere. So Bitmoji Classroom is taking over teaching right now, and the Chrome extension makes it so easy to be able to take any Bitmoji you want and be able to just pull it right down into what you're doing, whether it's an email, whether it's Google Classroom feedback, whether it's giving feedback in a Google Doc, whether it's whatever you're doing. Bitmoji is everywhere, and I highly suggest getting this Chrome extension installed and using this app, because how fun is it to have your kids actually see your little Bitmoji person, and the kids love it, we love it, and it's just a lot of fun. So highly suggest Bitmoji. If you haven't tried it out, one that I really suggest you trying out here as we continue to move forward. So Bitmoji is an extension and an app that you can use to engage your students. The next one is one that I feel like we don't use enough. And this app and extension is Google Keep. Google Keep I love because it allows you to curate content in interesting ways. It allows you to create lists. It allows you to take notes. It allows you to share that information with others, because anything in the Google Workspace, we can collaborate with others, and we can access it from anywhere. Your Google Keep notepad, you can actually access within Docs, Sheets, Slides, anywhere across the Google Workspace. You can pull up your Google Notepad. So think about if you're saving pictures, or you're saving notes about something that you want to bring up and be able to pull into a document. Google Keep is a great way to do that because you can access it anywhere. You can also download the Google Keep app onto your phone. I love to use it to do my grocery lists in my personal life. And that way I can share that list with my husband. And then when he's at the store, he can, in real time, I can update the list and he can cross things and check things off the list. I love Google Keep. It's a great organization tool. And I really think this is a really underutilized tool for students, because students can do the same thing. They can take class notes in here, they can curate their own content, and they can do task to-do list. So if you have students that, especially if you teach middle high, that you have students that have trouble, keeping an agenda or knowing what they're supposed to be doing on those at-home days, Google Keep could be a great way to curate those task lists so that students know, have I done this? Have I done this? Have I done this? And then you could create that list and share it with all your students so that they could all see the things that you're expecting them to do every day. Then they could have their little notepad up and on their screen and know exactly what they need to do every day, like a little task to-do list. Google Keep, I really love. Like I said, check this one out. It's an app and an extension that you can use to keep your life a little bit more organized. The next one is an app and an extension as well, and this one is Wakelet. Wakelet is one of those new tools that kind of came around recently. It hasn't been around too long, but the thing that I love about Wakelet is it allows you to, kind of like Google Keep, curate content. But the thing that I really like about Wakelet is it's in a more dynamic way. You can rearrange content however you want. You almost think of it like it's a little mini website. Students can contribute to it if you share it with them. You can curate content there, websites, or whatever you want to put there, pictures, videos, whatever you want to put there, and be able to share a whole collection of things with your students. So think about if you were doing a unit on the Revolutionary War. You could create a Wakelet page for the Revolutionary War, put videos, you could put Google Docs, slideshows, pictures, images, whatever you wanted to put there, and then be able to share that entire collection with your students. The cool thing about Wakelet is that the kids can do the same thing. They can create their own Wakelet collections by signing in and then share those Wakelets with you. So you as the educator have access to a dashboard where you can create a classroom and be able to collect work from students, these little collections, and have students showcase their learning. The thing that I really think is underutilized with Wakelet is the opportunity to have students curate an e-portfolio. I know in middle high, students need to do that as some graduation requirements. Wakelet would allow students to curate content across all of their Google Workspace. So if they had a Google slide deck they were really proud of, or this paper that they wrote on the Revolutionary War they were really proud of, they can actually link those right into the Wakelet. They can add images of their awards and all the things that they've done. They can add a resume there. They could add pictures of them if they played a different sport. They could add all of the things to kind of curate this lovely e-portfolio to showcase, themselves as a senior getting ready to graduate, or any grade level. Really, you could utilize that same idea. So I really love Wakelet, not just for teachers, but I love Wakelet for what it can do for students to be able to curate that content and share really dynamic things with their peers and with their teacher. Love Wakelet. Check that one out. Like I said, new on the scene, but I really feel like is an up and comer for some really dynamic things you can do with it. The next one is Canva. If you create or design anything, create it in Canva. Canva is the easiest design software that I have found out there that is free, that you can use with your students. You can sign up for an educator account, and your students can create anything from social media posts to posters to flyers to invitations, whatever they would want to create. There's beautiful images and templates. It truly makes it super easy to design just about anything. I use it personally in my personal life, but then I also use it in my job to do a lot of the social media postings that I do for my school. Canva is very robust. It has lots of different features. And like I said, it's an app, this one, Canva. You can download, access, obviously on the web at canva.com and access your account. But then you can also access your account through a tablet or a phone. I do a lot of my design on Canva, actually on my cell phone when I'm at home. So Canva is one. If you need to design or create something, design it and create it in Canva. Love Canva. I use it all the time. Highly, highly, highly suggest this one. Great app to have kind of in your hip pocket. The next one is an oldie but a goodie. Flipgrid's been around for a really long time. It is 100% free. It's a company that's owned by Microsoft. But I have to tell you, in this distance learning kind of world we're living in right now, I feel like Flipgrid is one of those tools that is really going to revolutionize your classroom. The thing that I love about Flipgrid is that a teacher can quickly and easily create a topic, share it with their kids, and have their students use their camera and microphone to teach their teacher and showcase their learning. It's also a great way for students to interact with each other. Since we're not able to be face-to-face, students can actually respond using video, text, or audio feedback to other students to give them feedback on a presentation or whatever they would like to share. You can also attach content to your videos that you're uploading so that students could be talking about a Google Slides presentation and actually uploading that Google Slides presentation there for other students to see. Flipgrid, their whole mission is empowering every voice, not just student voice. It used to be student voice, but now it's every voice. And I highly, highly, highly believe in the power of Flipgrid. If it's anything you take away from my presentation today, if you're looking for a tool to get your kids talking, to assess student learning, and for students to create content and explain their thinking, Flipgrid is your choice. I highly suggest this one. Check this out. Flipgrid is an app and a web-based application that students can use right here on their Chromebook. The last one I have for you today is Nearpod. Nearpod, again, has been around for a really long time, but I feel like Nearpod is one of those tools that I really love because it's an extremely robust tool. There is so much here, and Nearpod is always innovating and adding more and more and more to what they're offering. Now, Nearpod does have a free option. This is the only program really today that I'm sharing with you that doesn't have an educator discount or any type of free educator access. Nearpod has a free option, but they do have also a paid option. I will tell you that with the free option on Nearpod, there is so much you can do there to interact with your students. There are virtual field trips. There are already lessons created in Nearpod that you can launch right away. So if you're looking for sub-plans, this is a great one to use. It allows you to do live and student-paced lessons that allows you to teach your students in real time. You can get real-time feedback back from them and then actually assign them lessons that they can do on their own and still receive their feedback. When we're thinking about how we are with distance learning right now, Nearpod is a great option to be able to assign a lesson to a student that they can then complete and then turn into you, that you can ensure that that student has learned what they need to learn and they're showcase their learning with you versus assigning something and hoping that the student does it. Nearpod is a very robust tool, like I said, and highly suggest you check this one out. Like I said, the only one that I'm sharing here today that does have a pretty robust paid option, but I highly recommend Nearpod. Check it out. If you do have a Nearpod school license, one of those ones I highly suggest using to the fullest extent where we are right now with distance learning. I think it's one of those tools that's just absolutely fantastic. So let's talk about our takeaways. I just shared with you 10, is that crazy? 10 extensions and extension/apps that you can use in your classroom tomorrow. 10. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jen, that's a lot of apps and extensions. So let's talk about your takeaways and how we can kind of process what we learned today and move forward. So what I would like for you to take away today, the first one is just start small. Don't go for the whole pie and try to do all 10 of these apps and extensions. It's too much. Use what you need right now. Think about one of the tools or one of the apps and extensions I talked about today that really resonated with you, that you think, you know what, Jen, this is what I've been looking for. I really needed this. Start with that. Start with just one app or extension today. And remember, change takes time. Everything that we're learning and everything that we're doing takes time. Learning a new tool, learning a new app or extension takes time. So go easy on yourself and start with one. Once you're feeling comfortable with one of these apps and extensions and you really love it, come back, watch the video again, and find another one that you're like, ooh, I need this right now and I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna try it out because it fills that need. Remember, we shouldn't just use an app or an extension to use it. Think about your student outcomes and what you want your students to do with that information. How do you want your students to showcase their learning? What is it that you need to teach this standard? If that app, that extension doesn't do what you need it to do, move on. Sometimes just teaching teaching virtually, like what I'm doing right now, is the best way to reach a student about a standard or a student outcome that you're trying to achieve. But if you're thinking, man, I really needed students to create a poster on the Revolutionary War, or I need a way that they can curate content so that they can create these dynamic presentations, look back at the app and the extensions that I talked about today and find one that works for you. Because remember, you don't need to use all of them, and there's not, we don't just want to pull one out to just use it, right? You want to think about your student outcomes and the takeaways. What do you want your students to get out of this, that this tool, this app, this extension fits? The last one is that sharing is a gift. If you found something great today in this presentation that you absolutely loved, share it with somebody else. Share this video with them, share your new learning with them, share your excitement with them, because excitement and sharing is contagious. Right now as teachers, we're always looking for that thing that fits what we need at that time. So if you found something today valuable, even just one thing, please share it with someone else. Please share it with a teacher in your building and share with them your new learning and how they can utilize this app or this extension in their classroom. So we have come to the end of the presentation, and now it's time for your code word. Are you ready? So your code word for this session is the word extension. So if you put into the prize form drawing today the word extension, you will be entered to win a prize. Remember, your entries have to be in by Thursday at 7 p.m. and winners will be drawn and shared on Facebook and Twitter. So with that, I want to say again, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I know as teachers, our time is so valuable. So it means so much to me that you took the time to join in this session today and hear a little bit more about some apps and extensions that can not just make your teacher life a little bit easier, but also make your students excited about learning in this dynamic distance learning time that we are in. Remember, please connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website. And I look forward to seeing you again. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye for now.